The Attack on Titan finale. What I loved and what I hated. So what's up guys, Fox in here. What did Attack on Titan do right? What got splattered on the wall? Now that we've had some time to digest it, let's fully dive into this. So go ahead and also smash that like and subscribe, plus ring the bell to get notified. And a special thank you to Arcana Tactics for being an awesome sponsor. If you're into Hero Collection strategy RPGs, this is definitely the game for you. Two major things stand out. All the battles here with your team are strategy based. You gotta think really quickly to assemble and command your characters in battle. A change up here is that you actually start off with fairly weak characters, and as the battle goes on, actually combine them into stronger class heroes. And don't worry, if you're a new player like I was, you'll get into the groove right away. Arcana Tactics gives you over 139 unique characters to collect and upgrade. Have fun with your party exploring the story mode, quests, arena, and multiplayer. So if you've been looking for something strategy based, download Arcana Tactics right now. It's totally free for iOS and Android, first link below. The celebration events will give you a running head start. And don't forget to check out our official Facebook page for free coupons. They're redeemable for everyone who downloads and plays right now. You'll get free goodies including free crystals, gold, 10 Arcana summon tickets, plus a random major Arcana just for you. Go ahead and show them some love below. Attack on Titan Chapter 139. The Attack on Titan world has been completely destroyed. I mean, Eren would even make Thanos blush. From the Attack on Titan trio, the two main characters got a sad conclusion. Sorry, Eren and Mikasa. I'm actually thankful that Isayama chose a bittersweet ending. Anyway, let's dive into it. What worked? First off, the attack on Marley, which I think is pretty much the entire arc. Isayama took a big risk that even he admitted he was worried about, suddenly switching the board on fans for months and months to come. Old school manga fans recall how long it took to get the Hobo Eren reveal. This drastic change-up allowed you to fully get the Marley point of view, which included the truth about the Great Titan War. You had Willy from the Tyber family and Eldian himself, a family that had allowed the current world situation with Marley to become top dog to happen. This ultimately led Eren and the Scouts delivering divine payment for what kicked off his story. By far one of the most epic time skip moments, the Jaws Titan Nutcracker scene. And throughout the battle, the devastation, which included Armin nuking them. That is whether you prefer the manga version or enjoyed the recent anime take on it. The attack on Paradise Island. Originally, I was only going to mention the actual battle that took place in Eren's hometown, but the recent anime completely changed my feelings on the buildup. I really did take a liking to Zeke's delicious wine subplot. What a classic demonstration of letting your audience see the bomb, and then sit anxiously waiting for it to go off. Then for the actual Marley assault on their home base. So much to love, from Eren spamming his Warhammer Titan powers in battle, Pieck blasting the attack Titan, Zeke finally deciding to let out his Beast Titan scream, to Eren jogging over to his Harry Onichan. I'm getting freaking chills picturing this in the anime, with a god tier soundtrack. Next up, the Warriors, which really goes hand to hand with the Marley point of view. You had Reiner fully fleshed out, of course with a buffet of suffering. For Best Girl Pieck, sure, I would have liked a little bit more, but I was really satisfied with her. And let me be fair that I am bringing her recent anime portrayal into this. Beyond that, she kicked some major ass in the final Colossal Titan arc. She really deserved the bonus for clearly making what seems to be the bottom tier Titan into something more. For Porco, this was easily the guy lacking from the Warrior group. Again, props to the anime for elevating his character so much more. I'm looking forward to Porco getting this final jab at anime Reiner next year. For Gabi, you heard me praising her in my season 4 anime overall video. Once again for her, I'm more so leaning in toward the anime portrayal of her character. And then honorable mention for Falco, this guy took such a beating for simping to Gabi. Next up, Annie, I am counting her standalone. You know how much of a big fan I've been of the female Titan. It's crazier when I really wasn't at all before. My perspective on Annie really completely changed after reading her Lost Girls novel. Which is why I was really getting super impatient with Isayama. It felt like there was no way that Isayama could bring Annie back so late into the game without it feeling wasted. Which is why Annie gets a spot here. While I still don't think Annie played that major of a role, as an Annie fan, I was pretty satisfied with her contribution on screen post Crystal breaking. Next up, the Colossal Titan Parade and really just their destruction. Unfortunately, it hasn't made it yet into the anime, but really the rumbling. So massive credit here for the imagery built around these Colossal Titans. I mean the sheer horror, yet so many people getting pancaked worldwide. Some stuff that I can't even show off here or YouTube will get pissed off. You had so many pages that looked like it could be like something out of an art exhibit. After getting the taste of Armin's Colossal Titan at Marley, I'm really looking forward to seeing some of this destruction in the anime. Fingers crossed that it won't be horribly done with CG, although at this point I may be mentally prepared. So what do you know? Why does it seem like a majority of what I liked heavily leans toward the Warrior or Marley side? Really quickly, pause below and let me know what you love below in detail. So let's go ahead and switch over to my issues. What did not work for me? And likewise, post below. I know this will get heated. Let me build up and first mention Levi. Levi getting blown up. Isayama didn't have the Titan-sized balls to kill off his moneymaker. My real issue here is with how Isayama chose to depower Levi. Trying to examine this, it really just doesn't make sense. Clearly setting off the Thunder Spear was never part of Zeke's master plan. Without Ymir coming in, Zeke would have been a roasted monkey. Levi has never had an issue versus Zeke, the Beast Titan. Even without that Thunder Spear stuck inside of him, it's not like Zeke would have been able to escape. Doing that goes against what Levi was plotting, which was trying to feed Zeke to Historia or a different host. I mean, even think about it for a few minutes. Say you want to keep the same scene, but instead really emphasize how Levi was in this terrible mental state for him to do something so stupid. From a story point of view, essentially Isayama was removing Levi from the morality battle, which again could have been accomplished in so many other ways. Besides, given what you know now, Levi at full power in the final battle would have been mostly the same. As much as I do love the character, if you were going to hurt Levi so much in the end anyway, I think it would have been a really impactful moment if when he saw the Survey Corps, that you then had a panel where Levi dropped his arm, and that was it. He joined them. As a slight positive, I do feel the events were played out better recently for the anime. But likely a nitpick compared to some of this upcoming stuff. For example, the next issue, let's talk about Mikasa. And really with what Isayama did with Mikasa, or should I say did not do. As a Mikasa fan, it does hurt to admit she's lacking the most from the main trio, especially given her importance later. We were all waiting and waiting for more development to come, more fleshing out of Mikasa's character on screen, instead of simply being the muscle. Isayama even introduced that golden ticket with Luis. I mean, what a juicy combo with the parallel Mikasa and her own situation with Eren. But then, that subplot really went nowhere. They could have just removed that completely. I mean, it feels like freaking Annie got more than this Lady Ackerman. And this is Annie who was out for half of that time skip. Skipping forward with Mikasa essentially being the one to take out Eren, yes, technically you did get a scene between Mikasa and Eren together. My issue with that is that should have been vastly more fleshed out. You saw in the final chapter how much time Isayama spent with Armin and Eren. That same amount of dialogue should have taken place between Mikasa and Eren talking it out. Which nicely leads into my next issue, Eren. First off, a nitpick here. I really never been a fan of the design for this. I mean, honestly, did anyone love this? I'm almost laughing at the idea of some company down the line trying to make a figure out of this thing. Then the actual battle that took place. In hindsight, given what we know now, it does make sense why those fake titans went down so easily. But despite that, this still was some final grand battle. There really should have been some loss for the warrior or scout side. I mean, am I forgetting about something, or were there really no losses here? The biggest damage taken might have been to humanity's strongest. Thanks, Connie. Then for the much bigger colossal issue, Eren. So let me mention I will be touching more on this whole Eren reveal in the upcoming plot hole video. But first let me just say that I will accept where Isayama went with Eren. Maybe I'm naive, but I don't know why a good chunk of people bought into this fake Chat Eren persona or meme. But I felt it was obvious Eren didn't completely turn into some edgy, cold character. Even from me, you heard me theorize how Eren was this Grandmaster using the Founding Titan power. But unfortunately, reality is sometimes disappointing. At the same time, I really don't think we need to hold it against Isayama when some of our theories didn't come true. That said, let's put it out there. Isayama sure took quite the huge risk waiting until the very end to fully show Eren's point of view. Did it fully work out? I really do question this. It might have been better to wrap up everything the chapter before, like on chapter 137, or who knows, add an extra chapter, then exclusively have an entire chapter for Eren alone. You could have had Eren with Armin, Eren and Mikasa, perhaps even Eren with Ymir, or Eren just solo reflecting on everything that happened. Next up, a fan favorite, Gabi. Oh yes, she's on both. I still very much feel that Gabi has been one of the most developed and fleshed out characters post timeskip. I could also see some of you being bitter with that screen time not being used elsewhere. Instead, my main issue is with what Isayama did with this overpowered Gabi character. In the attack on Marley, you had Gabi sliding and getting that headshot. You then had Gabi headshotting Eren while crying or just being emotionally unstable. Also, no damage or arm broken. Not too long after that, you had Gabi that essentially double headshotted that Titan. Again, no pushback. And then Gabi's perfect aim continued while on the Falco Express. Again, I'm no expert in this weapon that's supposed to be able to take down Titans, but even if you ignore whether Gabi would have been able to get all those shots, seriously? There's no injury on her body? Now I can see why some of you wanted Gabi to be revealed as an Ackerman so badly. At least that would have been some sort of explanation. I don't know, and let me know, am I overthinking this? I do think you could get lucky once, twice, maybe 3 times, but looking at Gabby's track record, you do have to ask why. Seems Isayama really got inspired from Arya from Game of Thrones. It is funny because I actually had planned to do a theory video on Gabby, that Eren was the one actually manipulating Gabby across time and space, which could have been a parallel to what the past founding titans wanted the Ackerman to be. In the end, I'm not blaming the Gabby character or really hating her, I'm strictly calling out the writing around her. So what is your deal with her, Isayama? Getting into a loaded one, the Titan Sausage, Centipede, and Ymir. In hindsight, it would have been much better not showing this thing off, since I really doubt there would have been some explanation that would have been able to satisfy everyone. Did the Titan powers come from a devil, some goddess, some organic thing? In hindsight, if Isayama really wasn't going to do a deep dive into the Titan powers and lore, it would have been much better just to leave this stuff vague. Let the reader decide. And this whole Titan sausage business really leads into my overarching main issue, which I think all of us are on a similar page. Were there too many questions? Did the story leave so many things unanswered? Ironically, or perhaps even poetically, Isayama gave you so much freedom with the Attack on Titan finale. He left the Attack on Titan ending left super open to interpretation. You saw Armin and the warriors going back to the island as peacekeepers. Will Historia deny them? Will the Jaeger supporters outright sink their ship? Could Armin succeed in their peace talks? Does it even matter? There still is a chance that the world could regroup and attack Eldia again. For Mikasa, is she truly free from Eren? Is Mikasa now doing her own thing on the island? Or is she still binded down to Eren, visiting his grave daily? For Eren, was he ever free? Did he allow himself to be stringed on by Ymir? Is he stuck in the Titan realm? Could Eren have somehow been reincarnated as a bird at the end? And those are just some of the mysteries you're left to wonder. If you make a good argument, case, or theory for one way or another, the interpretation is there for you to have. Which really goes into my major issue with how Attack on Titan ended. But before you go on tweeting that Jerry hated the Attack on Titan ending, let me just be perfectly clear. I still very much am somewhere in the middle. You just heard me detail some of the stuff that worked, and some of the stuff that did not. It really is a mixed bag. To fully understand the problem I have with how Isayama chose to conclude his beloved story, let's take a step back. Recall how you saw the Attack on Titan trio witnessing the Colossal Titan devastating their birdcage. At a high level from a story point of view, you were presented and teased with this mystery. You had the Survey Corps risking blood, sweat, and tears. I mean, most of the Survey Corps got wiped out. And you finally got answers to your burning questions. At a high level, you had a mystery, you got some answers, which then led into new questions. But don't worry, the Attack on Titan story continued. Now flip it with the time skip stuff. Funny enough, you really didn't have history repeating itself. Similar to what Isayama had done leading up to the basement reveal. You got answers to some questions, or at least hints at them, which resulted in more questions. Except here's the major difference and my issue. Unlike with the basement reveal, this time there is no more runway. The story is over, it's done. There is no other basement, there's no second talk with Eren coming, Ymir disappeared into the Titan heavens, or who knows where, Armin is about to retell the events starting from episode 1, and unfortunately there is no new chapter in May. At a high level examining the ending from a story point of view, this is my major issue. Isayama left the Attack on Titan story so open-ended. It's left so open to interpretation. At the same time, I can respect that and perhaps even like it. Part of me does think Isayama always aimed to end the story like this, without giving the audience this super long essay to answer everything. From the part of me that hungers for more knowledge to know more, I only do wish there was more of a concrete path that Isayama laid out here. Like sure, I'm fine with interpreting and theorizing after the fact, but part of me was left with this super empty feeling, that curiosity to see your vision of events to come, Isayama. And perhaps this does lead into a different discussion. The reaction for the Attack on Titan finale overall has been positive from Japanese fans. I mean, the freaking magazine sold out from so many people buying it up. Japan in general seems to be really fine with open-ended endings. Looking at the quick YouTube poll, almost 90,000 of you. As you can see, the vast majority at least liked it. 4% hated it, combined 8% disliked it. So it really is a small minority that's vocal that they didn't get what they wanted. And you're free to feel like that. Isayama gave you that freedom. Just don't be a dick about it. As a huge positive, I am predicting the Attack on Titan anime ending will come off a lot better next year. It'll definitely help with the pacing issues in spots where you have little to no dialogue. Not to mention the voice actors and God tier soundtrack to fully deliver this home. That's gonna be a rainy day. For some important juicy info I know you'll love. If you did feel the final chapter was rushed or too short, the Attack on Titan editor did confirm the official manga volume will have more panels. Isayama also does have an interview coming up with the Fullmetal Alchemist author. On top of this, probably the best thing, there is another Attack on Titan guidebook coming in June. These things are always filled with Isayama interviews, and based off the track record for these, I could almost guarantee you'll be getting some answers to some lingering mysteries. I'll be sure to do a deep dive when that comes out. Upcoming this week, I am working on this follow-up video to tackle any issues or quote-unquote plot holes you sent in. Post your own down below to make sure it makes it into that video. And going forward, I am trying to set a set schedule. I'm thinking Friday. Something always on Friday, whether it's that weekly Attack on Titan video or something anime related. You heard me mention last time how I pretty much put my life on pause these past few months in order to cover the Attack on Titan anime and manga ending. I've been slowly catching up to that baggage I put aside this entire month. And at the same time just recharging my batteries. I needed it. Coming up is my return to the Attack on Titan hometown. Hopefully that'll be fun, and if you want to see anything specific, definitely let me know below. Tokyo, Japan just went on another lockdown. Rona-chan is raging, so I figured I'd push off that trip into those 2 weeks. Definitely show Arcana Tactics some love. It really does help to keep the lights on here and supports the channel overall. It'll help cover that super expensive trip to Isayama's hometown. No worries if you don't keep on playing, just downloading helps a ton. But anyway, I'm really curious. Definitely let me know what you loved or hated from the Attack on Titan ending. What did Isayama do great? Where did he fail or what needed more work? Post below or just say hi. I will be reading as always. Don't forget to colossal like and subscribe. Go ahead and check out my deep dive into spring anime that you should be watching, or my Othello match on camera. And I'll see you guys later on Friday.